move on to the Middle East. And Yemen's Houthi rebels reported that US airstrikes in the Bani Mata region west of Sanaa have killed 7 and injured 29, including children and women. The attacks targeted a factory and nearby homes. US strikes have been frequent since March the 15th, following Houthi threats to vessels in vital maritime routes, including the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. The rebels also targeted US ships and Israel. Yemen's Houthi rebels claim to have launched 2 ballistic missiles towards Israel, aiming at a military base near Ashdod and Ben Gurion International Airport near Tel Aviv. According to Israeli officials, 1 missile was fired from Yemen but was successfully intercepted. Air raid sirens sounded in various parts of the country, including Jerusalem, though no casualties or damage were reported. The Houthis have been carrying out missile and drone attacks on Israel since the war with Gaza began in October, saying they are acting in solidarity with Palestinians. These attacks paused during the ceasefire in January but resumed when Israel relaunched its military operations in March. Meanwhile, the US began targeting Houthi positions in March after their group escalated attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. These assaults have significantly disrupted maritime traffic along one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, forcing many ships to reroute through longer and more costly paths. Here is what a Houthi military spokesperson has said.
غزة نفذت القوة الصاروخية في القوات المسلحة اليمنية عملية عسكرية نوعية، وذلك بصاروخين باليستيين، أحدهما فرط صوتي نوع فلسطين 2، استهدف قاعدة سودة ميخا في منطقة شرق أسدود المحتلة، وهي قاعدة صاروخية لإطلاق صواريخ أريحة وبطاريات صواريخ حيدز. والصاروخ الآخر نوع ذي الفقار استهدف مطار بن غوريون في منطقة يافا المحتلة.
Well, joining us to discuss the latest US action and the reason why is Adnan Nasser, a news correspondent who's joining us from Beirut in Lebanon. Thank you very much, Adnan, for being here with us today. I want to look firstly at these continued strikes from the US targeting the Yemen Houthi rebels. In your opinion, is this a decent amount of action given the Houthi strikes that we've seen, or do you think it is disproportionate given the loss to civilian life that's being reported from within Yemen?
Well, I'm not sure that this is the strategy that will win the hearts and minds of the Yemeni people, if this is something that President Donald Trump is trying to do, nor is it effective on the military status. Keep something in mind. I think that the American position is to use the bombing in Yemen and on the Houthi targets as leverage in negotiations with Iran on the nuclear topic and Iran's regional influence, particularly in Yemen. These talks are being held now, as you know, nuclear discussion in Oman, next door to Yemen. So everyone in the region has an incentive to make sure that the talks go successfully and they're smooth and they produce the kind of result that leads to cessation of violence. The Houthis they had made it clear that part of what has resumed their bombing, the bombing of it on Israel and Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, is Israel's resumption of violence and the military campaign in Gaza. So the moment that the Israelis stop attacking Palestinian people in Gaza is the moment that the Houthis will cease hostilities towards the Israelis, and this will more than likely lead to a de-escalation on the part of the United States.
Yes, Adnan, you mentioned there, of course, the ongoing war in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. The Houthis, as you've said, of course, striking Israel in solidarity with Palestinians, but the picture's slightly different, of course, in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, given the fact that it's such a vital shipping route for global trade. Do you think that would stop as well if a ceasefire deal was agreed?
As your question is, if there was a ceasefire in Gaza, would there be a ceasefire in Yemen, in the Red Sea?
Yes.
Yes, I believe so. I think that you would see a cessation of Houthi military action on the shipping and trade routes in the Red Sea. I mean, this is something that is important for all global trade and consumers. You have to remember, if there's a cessation of trade or easy access for goods being shipped through the Red Sea, this will increase prices for consumers, which is something that nobody really wants. But the Houthis have kept this they know what they're doing, and that's why they're preventing their attacks. Their attacks are focused on American and what they deem are pro-Israel shipping. So for now, as far as I know, they're not attacking Russian shipping. They're not attacking shipping from the Chinese. Still, I would more than likely we will see an end to the attacks on the shipping routes if there was an end to the killing in Gaza.
Adnan, to bring an end to this discussion, you mentioned Iran there and the ongoing nuclear talks. Of course, Iran have been backing the Houthis, also backing Hamas, also backing Hezbollah. What part do Iran have to play in these attacks on Red Sea shipping and attacks on Israel as well? Should they be doing more to stop these as they work towards diplomacy over nuclear deals with the United States?
Well, keep something in mind. You said this. The Houthis have also said publicly that they don't belong to any nation in the region, that they're an independent actor, that they represent the will of the Yemeni people, which is expressing solidarity with the Palestinians. However, Iran has significant and incredible influence over the Houthis as the one main party defending and supporting the Houthis. Now, they have never openly declared that they're supporting the Houthis militarily, but it's an open secret that the Iranians are backing the Houthis politically, backing them militarily, giving them the means to produce weapons in Yemen itself. So if there was a successful nuclear agreement, a new nuclear agreement between the new administration of Donald Trump and the Iranian leadership, that may fall into place in getting the Houthis in line with stopping their attacks on Israel. But they would also want, I believe the Iranians are going to leverage every influence that they can muster in making sure there's a ceasefire in Gaza. So they want a package deal that includes regional developments plus the nuclear agreement with the United States.
Yes, Adnan, Nasser, thank you very much for joining us and discussing those developments in the Middle East. We have some more developments and some breaking news